It sound right, boys. Sound right, boy.
Hello, everyone. If you guys love that intro as much as I do, and I'm going to play it again. That girl is amazing. She sent this to me. She's good. That's all I can say. She's phenomenal at this. I wish I could do this like she does, but I can't. So thank you so much, that girl, for making this for me. It means more to me than you'll ever know. So thank you. If you guys are looking for an intro, please get a hold of that girl. She's amazing. And I don't know what else to say. I'm just humbled by her doing that. All right. This is only going to take a couple minutes, you guys, because I have a lot of stuff to do today. And also, I will be live later on tonight. Hey, Without Borders. Hey, that girl. Hey, Just Carry Me. Sorry if I missed anybody. Hey, Hooligan Jennifer. How are you guys doing? Hey, The Scoop with Barb, Shalma. It's so good to see you guys in here. All right, let's get started. Outside the Box with Chloe Joe. How are you? But that girl, if you could drop that girl's link, please, I would appreciate it. I'm not going to play the clip of what was said last night. I was sent a clip. I was also told by somebody, and I am only going to, this is the last time I'm going to address this, because what's happening here with Natasha is she is, she's talking about people to stay relevant. You're not a creator here on YouTube anymore. So I'm not going to address people that are creators on here. You're not. No matter how many channels you make, you're still not technically a creator. So the only reason why I'm addressing this is not because you called me a racist. You can call me a racist all day long if you want to. You're only making yourself look stupid. But here's what I will tell you. You want to talk about times have changed. It's different for biracial kids. It's not like when I was younger. Racism isn't the same anymore. When I was younger, obviously you're saying it was worse, which you don't know anything about my life or what I experienced throughout my life, for one. And for two, you're sitting here saying, fuck it. Let's just play the damn motherfucking clip. Live streamer. She was never created. She's a live streamer. She created nothing but chaos and hate. That is an artwork. Thank you, that girl. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. You can be a creator being a live streamer. Hey, Allegedly with Brit. Hey, Megan VR. You can be a creator being a live streamer, but you have to create. You don't just get on your platform and spew hate. All right.
And not every mixed child has the experience that Teaya had. What it has done is turned Teaya into a very, very bitter, racist person.
Okay. So I'm a bitter racist person because I think you're a racist. Sorry, not sorry. That's my opinion of you. Let me ask you a question, Natasha. I defended you because I thought that you changed from the past. You see, I think this is what you say about all Black people when you treat them the way that you do, okay? Last night, that girl. When you treat them the way that you do, I think this is the response that you're always giving. Times has changed to when I was younger. And because I've dealt with racism, it's made me bitter. You see, the only thing that you are doing is showing what a true racist you really are. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't keep going on and on about it and making excuses. You don't know anything about my past or my life, anything that I've had to endure. And how do you know that times have changed? Because I can stand right here and right now and tell you that all of my children are biracial. Okay? All of them. And you are not going to tell me what my children endure because you don't know a damn thing about what biracial children have to endure, nor do you have a clue about what Black children have to endure. Adults, period. Also, when I defended you, let me get back to what I was saying. When I defended you in the past, when I thought that you had changed somewhat, I was wrong. Because of my experience with you, I was really, really wrong about that. But you have said that you apologized for calling a family member the N-word, right? You've publicly apologized. But I've had other people say, no, Teaya, she has not publicly apologized. You need to go look back. Well, her channels were gone at that time, so I couldn't. I just took her word for it. But you haven't publicly apologized. You see, there's a difference between me and you. You can look to my past. No matter anything that I have endured in my past from when I was little, okay, from when I was little, I've never taken it out on the amazing people that I've met in my life that were not minorities, okay? Never, nor would I ever. If I was bitter, I wouldn't have anything to do with white people, period. But yet, from a previous relationship, the father of my child is white. I've dated a majority of white men. My stepdad was white. So it doesn't have anything to do with being bitter. I just think that you are. That's my opinion. And I don't have a background of saying those mean, hateful, hurtful, awful things. You do.
Upbringing that Teaya had, and not every mixed child has the experience that Teaya had. What it has. Mariah doesn't have that. Teaya was Mariah's age. She's in her late 30s, early 40s. Mariah's 14. The way that they've grown up and the way that society is these days is completely different as far as being a mixed race child had the upbringing that Teaya had. And not every mixed child has the experience that Teaya had. What it has done is turn Teaya into...
Okay, it's just repeating. Okay, let's be clear here. I'm not talking about your I'm not talking about that. Like I said, I'm not speaking on that. But what I will speak on is my children. I will say that in this society, it has gotten a little bit better as far as racism is concerned, but not by much. Absolutely not. And the only person that could speak about that is a minority or a Black person. You don't get to speak about what's gotten better and what's gotten worse. And you're contradicting yourself, because there's been many of times that you said on your panel how when you go to public places, you are stared at because of your family member. That is biracial. That you've been stared at. People look at you guys, whisper to among each other. What do you think that is? Here's the point. You don't know anything about racism. You don't. And if you do, you may experience it from, your perspective, prejudice, or whatever it is. But you're not going to tell me what the fuck my kids endure, and they are biracial, half white, half Black. And I teach my children that they have the best of both worlds, to never be ashamed of who they are, of course. You know what I mean? They do. They have the best of both worlds. I have the best of both worlds. I love my culture. I love being half Indian. I embrace all of it. But you are not going to tell me what a biracial child has to endure and how it's not the same from when I was younger. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You sound stupid. Okay? I know, because guess what? My child, who is 21 years old, has experienced police brutality for the first time. All on video. Okay? And I will talk about that one day. You're not going to tell me shit, and my child is biracial. So this has nothing to do with bitter. This has to do with me standing up for what I believe in, no matter how uncomfortable it makes people feel. But I'm not bitter, okay? If I was bitter and if I had any kind of hostility, I wouldn't associate with any white person, period. And that's not my life, because you don't know shit. You're always getting up on your panel, acting like you know what the fuck you're talking about, and you are totally clueless. But guess what? Maybe watch some videos, okay? Maybe do some research, because you don't know a damn thing about what biracial children will have to endure or what they endure. But you're calling me bitter because of my opinion about you. Okay, you can call me bitter if you want to, but here's the thing, and this is pretty much sum up this whole conversation. Your true colors are showing, because all you're doing is showing how much of the R word you really are. That's all you're doing. Because if you aren't, then why do you keep talking? Why do you keep making a whole bunch of excuses? And how come when other people have called you racist that were white, you didn't respond in this way? You didn't call them a racist. You didn't call them anything, because they were showing proof, right? They were showing proof of how you really truly are. But because it's me and I'm Black, I'm the racist. I'm the bitter one. That's the excuse that you use. See, that's what you do anytime a Black person tells you something, confides in you about something, any kind of racism that they have endured. Stop it. Sorry, you guys. He's doing that on purpose. I'm live right now. He does this all the time. My son does this all the time, you guys. Now what the hell was I saying? Oh, any type of, racism that a Black person has endured or anything like that. You are showing this is what you say. You're just bitter. You're just bitter because of the things that you went through. You don't know anything that I've been through. You don't know a damn thing about me. Unless you've watched me, right? You went against the white savior team. But you have not said that about anybody else who have blatantly said that you are that word, but you say that about the Black person that says that about you. So any person that talks about this, or I can't even imagine what you probably think about. Just never mind. but you are showing your true colors. That's all I can say. You are the one that continues to keep talking about this. You are the one that continues to keep making excuse after excuse. But let me ask you a question, though. Have you have you called any of your African American supporters up on your panel like you used to? When you wanted people to defend you against that, or no? Just curious. But yeah. Okay, let me read some of these comments before I end this. Yeah. But I've said that to her before. I'm just curious, though, because we were definitely a few of her beautiful African American supporters have went up on panel to defend her. My mistake. But in the same sense, I don't see that anymore. I wonder why. Let me read these comments. Hold on. And I will be back on here. You guys know I don't come on here this early. And it's not even early. It's 5 o'clock. All right. And thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, The Scoop with Barb. I don't know if you're still here, but isn't that intro amazing? She's just, I can't believe she did that for me. I've never had anybody do that for me before, so I'm very humbled. Hold on. Thank you, Carrie. Just Carrie. Thank you again, Just Carrie. Stupid storms here, hun. No worries. Gonna have to be listening from the shower. Oh, I didn't even know she was live. I'm so sorry, Teaya. I don't follow her at all. It's great. I was also too busy cussing someone out. I know. And I don't watch her either anymore, you guys. This clip was sent to me. I don't know if she wants me to say, but she sent it to me. And also, somebody left me a comment to inform me, which I appreciate her doing that as well. When it comes to things like this, I don't mind people telling me about it because you guys know this is what I do. This is, I talk about different things like this. So I don't mind people sending those to me, but I don't watch her, you guys, anymore. I promise. I feel like I understand that this woman, for goodness sakes, all they do is wrestle. I'm the only woman in this house with 3 boys, you guys. 4. But anyway, I don't watch her because I know what she's doing. And what she's doing is these things are happening. You're on a platform that you're technically not supposed to be on, and you are talking about everybody and accusing people of stuff. Those things are purposely done, you guys. So I don't watch her. As a matter of fact, until a couple days ago, I didn't even know she had made another channel. I don't sit around and watch her. I don't want to hear about the spewing of hate and all of that kind of stuff. But if it's something like this, something that I speak about and that I'm not afraid to speak up on, and that's why a lot of people don't like me, you guys. A lot of people don't like me because I speak up on these types of things. And you don't have to like me because of it. My whole point is taking different situations and using that to be able to educate people about what I have endured in my past, about what I will continue to endure, and that what I will always say is, and I've made a post about this, racism has not changed. It's just getting filmed. More people are forced to face it. You know what I mean? And then you deal with people like her. There has been many of times where I know people can change. Blah, 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 blah. I've told you guys this before. People can change. But I have had people personally reach out to me through email, through Messenger, and say, Teaya, this woman she's everything that you stand for. She has never apologized for calling a family member the N-lit. She's never apologized for that, Teaya. And I'm like, well, she said she did. No, she didn't. She's like, go look, but you can't go look because her channels are gone. So I try to give her the benefit of the doubt because that's what I do. Okay. If I didn't give benefit of the doubt, I wouldn't have some of the amazing friends that I have today. Okay. That do happen to be Caucasian. So it's not about that, but you don't talk about me being bitter or it's different for biracial kids. You don't know what you're talking about. You're sitting there making excuses, okay, and trying to divert everything all because a Black person thinks that you are racist. And that's my opinion of you. I don't think you've changed from the past. I think that you have just got better at hiding it. Me calling you that does not. Why do you care? Why do you care if you weren't? Why do you keep trying to divert? Why do you keep trying to deflect? Why do you keep trying to, now you're trying to eliminate that racism even exists. Because at the end of the day, you can talk about mixed race kids. You're right. My son, my firstborn, all my kids are half white, half black. And like I told you, they are raised to know that they have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? To embrace both sides of your culture. But that doesn't mean that I don't raise them to know what society is going to see them as. That's all it is to it. And society is not going to see them. I hope it gets better when they get older. I pray that it gets better. But they are raised to know that society is not going to see them as biracial. You know what I mean? Yes, you can tell them, okay, I'm biracial, but I'm just saying that's not how society is going to see them. And that is the point. They are just now starting to have like choices to where when I don't know, sometimes when it's like a government app or something that they're putting, are you biracial, African American, Caucasian, things like that. They're just now starting to give more choices. But like I said, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So now you're trying to bring up something that you have no idea what you're talking about, because at the end of the day, like I said, I know the way society is going to see my children when they get older. Even though they are raised to embrace both sides of them and to embrace both cultures of being proud of being African American, being proud of being Caucasian, that doesn't mean that that's what society is going to look at them as. And when my son experienced police brutality for the first time, I can guarantee you that's not what they looked at him as. Okay? So now you're trying to talk about something that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So just leave it alone. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Like I said, when I meet somebody, and any experience I have with them, I go to their past, their fourth. You already know what your past is. Why do you think that people started playing those videos? Okay. People started playing videos of her from her past. And they started doing that when me and two other of her African American supporters would go on her panel and support her. Okay. And when we used to go on her panel, people started playing things from her past. And I think at first I thought, oh, they're just trying to, start trouble. No, they were doing that to try to show us, you're supporting somebody who's a racist. You need to stop. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why they were doing that. So, and I'm sorry, you guys, but the number one thing that when you express something about somebody, the number one thing that they do is come back at you with the same exact thing. And I don't care if she does that. But at the same time, just shut up. It sounds stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. So just stop talking about it. That's all I could say. Why? Because she doesn't have anything else to say because of my opinion of her. Thank you, Kimberly Roddy Mom. Don't know how she got that recliner on that high horse. It's a mystery. Hey, Jules. If you wasn't racist, you wouldn't try so hard to prove if she was. Exactly. That's all I'm trying to say. You don't have to. If you're not, then stop. Why do you keep trying to divert, deflect, blah, 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 blah? Just stop. Like, why do you care what I think of you? That's just my experience with you. That's how I feel that you truly are. If you're not, then quit talking about it. That's all I can say. If you're not, then you're not going to go through hell and high waters to prove to anybody that you're not. Oh, thank you, Megan. You guys are amazing. She's basically retelling a story, but telling it in her reality. That's all I've heard today. I don't care what she or anyone has to say about me. My life has been too hard to care. I agree, Peach. I agree. Natasha adopted certain politics that would be more palatable in these communities, so she wouldn't lose supporters. Utilizing identity politics is a good way to manipulate people as well. I agree. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. I think ultimately, when it comes down to it, I really don't care. I don't care what she says about me. As far as when it comes to being racist and all that kind of stuff. But if you really think about it, it's just her saying these things to her supporters. And her supporters, it doesn't matter what she does. I swear that woman could go, I don't freaking know. She could go literally commit a crime right in front of them, and they would literally look at her and make every kind of excuse and deflect it and say, that person was standing right there. No, it was that person. Any kind of excuses. And the drama, it's not going to go away, you guys. The drama is always going to be here when it comes to her, because if you really look at it in reality, that's what people love, and that's what she's getting paid for, right? I don't know about that. And she cares because your opinion of her carries weight in the community. Well, it's just my opinion of her, but I don't know. You might be right. Just like another creator needs to do, enough is enough. Yes, I'm just responding to this because these are issues that I talk about, and just to let you guys know that in my life and the things that I have endured, you don't know what you're talking about, especially when you're talking about biracial children. Just because my children are biracial, and I know the things that they have endured. So in that same sense, you can't, oh God, this is a long story, guys, and we will talk about this one day. But when it comes to biracial children, okay, and having my own biracial children, like I said, in society, there's a difference between, I hope that one day it comes to that people obviously acknowledge that, a person is biracial or, whatever. But that's not how it is, you guys. That's just not how it is. When you go out into the world, a biracial child is not looked at as biracial. They are looked at as a Black child. And even when you say, they're still looked at as a Black child. You know what I mean? And the things that that a biracial child faces is no different than what a Black child faces. It's reality, And like I said, I hope it gets better when they get older, but I don't know. When you catch a thief and accused accordingly, they will obviously deny it and say, I am not a thief, etc. It's an age-old strategy to control people. Exactly. But I look at it like this, Peach, when it does, things could be blatant right in front of her supporters' face. Even what went down between me and her, or even what went down between her and anybody else. There has been so many people that have tried to just keep it cordial with her. And you can't keep it cordial with somebody like her because everything becomes public. And I was not going back and forth with this woman. I literally said, you're trying to tell me where I can and can't go. I'm not doing that shit. Have a nice life. And then, right, like not even probably 5 minutes after, there goes her live of freaking bashing me. You have done more than enough things to prove to me that you are a racist, in my opinion. And there were so many things that you had done. And even when you did a live about me, bashing me, talking about my eyelashes, talking about this, you were talking in a very, very, I don't even know how to describe it. You were trying to sound ghetto. That's how you were talking when you were describing me. You're ignorant. And I'm sorry, you can remain ignorant. Okay? Go ahead, remain ignorant. But you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to biracial children, period. So, yes, she was talking in a very ghetto voice when she was describing me, and I have proof of it. So there's just so many things that she had did to show me who she truly was, and it's my opinion. So that's it. Where's her new pics? Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Where is Allie? Oh, I love that picture. That is so cute. I love the butterfly. Is that a butterfly? I love it. But yep, that's all I want to talk about, you guys. I don't know if you guys if you're a creator, can you just ignore her? Just try to do that. Just don't go tit for tat with the woman. It's not worth it. Whenever I try to curb my voice or accent, for some reason, it always comes out Australian. Welcome, Alex. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I don't ever come live this early. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about, you guys. If you just don't know what you're talking about, that's all I can say. And you can keep not knowing what you're talking about, and you can remain ignorant, or maybe do some research, maybe get things from other places and go to the library and see things. I don't know what to say, educate your brain. That's all I can say, because when you start talking about, Tia's a racist and she's bitter and she's this and that, I don't care what you say about that, because obviously you're wrong. But when it comes to biracial children, well, you're not the only one who has a biracial family member. I have biracial children. I know what they have to endure. And regardless, you're trying to separate the two as far as biracial children and Black children, and you're trying to say that it's different. How do you know it's different? How do you know it's different? You are literally contradicting yourself. You have said many of times that anywhere that you go, people stare at you and people treat you differently or whatever, or people are whispering to each other, because of the town that you live in. Now all of a sudden, what, it's not like that anymore? You don't make any sense. Nothing that you say makes sense. You always contradict yourself, and I feel like this is a subject that you just don't know anything about, just because of the things that I have endured in my life. Like I said, if I was bitter, my children wouldn't be here. If I was bitter, like I said, I wouldn't have some of the amazing friends that I have today. If I was bitter, I wouldn't have anything to do with white people. That's a bitter person. You keep running your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about, especially when you're talking about me. You don't know me. You've never asked me any questions about myself. You don't know a damn thing about me. Nothing. Unfortunately, people know about you because you are very open about yourself. People know everything about you for the most part. So when you talk about what I've went through, you don't know a damn thing about what I went through. And regardless of whether you think it's different for biracial children, you're wrong. That's not the way it works. Everything that you say is a classic. I don't want to say classic, is the epitome of, to me, a racist person. That's just my opinion. Everything that you try to deflect is the epitome of the definition of a racist person. I know there are conversations I will never have to have with my kids besides being kind to everyone, no matter. Exactly, Just Carrie. You're absolutely right. All of those things that you say, all you're doing is just showing your true colors. So if I were you, I wouldn't talk about it, because I'm just saying, you can talk about biracial kids all day long, but I know these are not things that I choose to hide. Like I told you guys, this happened, I don't know, I'm going to say months ago, but it was filmed, thank God. So my son, being 21, has experienced it. And thank God it was filmed. And there's been many of times that I was going to, and I still will. He still has the video. But can you imagine your son experiencing that for the first time on his way to work driving, and then he calls you up on the phone and screaming and hollering, "Mom, mom, mom." It's the most horrible feeling that you will ever have to endure as a parent. So you're not going to tell me what biracial children go through. You have no clue. If you choose to ignore, well, that's on you. But it is very, very, there is no difference. Let's just put it that way. Not yet. We're not there yet. Hopefully we get there, but we're not there yet. No matter what, when it comes to my children, like I said, and I'll always say, they are raised to embrace both cultures. They are they are taught to embrace the African American parts and be proud that you have the best of both worlds, and the Caucasian. I'm very, very stern about that. And they do on an everyday basis. But in that same sense, I know what society is going to see them as. And sadly, there's no separation between the two in the real world, period. So you just have to raise your kids and prepare anyone who has a biracial child. You just have to prepare them for what they might endure. Even white friends that I have that have biracial children prepare their children for the real world and what the real world is going to see them as. It has not changed. Like I said, it's gotten a little bit better, but it has not changed. And it's not different for biracial children. It's just not. It's the same as what Black people have to endure. So when you talk about that, you sound stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. So just don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. And that's it. People need to research for themselves too, and not believe every word being put out there. Things are easily misconstrued, clipped, and exaggerated. You want to know about someone? Go to the source directly. I agree. And these things, well, this is not clips. What I just played is not clips. She's been saying this, but as far as when it comes to the biracial parts, I don't care what she talks about with me, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I will never truly understand what you or any other person of color has to deal with on a daily basis. And I appreciate you saying that, Megan VR, except some sources lie to match. Except some sources lie to match to be true verification. True. True. Um, but like I said, this is not clipped. This would not, I would not, if I thought that this was clipped, first of all, I wouldn't go to her. She's been saying this about me. She's been saying this. But this is the first time that she's ever brought, biracial into this. And then you're not the only one who can talk about a biracial child. I have biracial children too. I can talk about it as well. And I know the things that they've experienced. I know what they're going to experience. And it's different. You're trying to separate the two as far as it's different for a biracial child than it is for a Black child. And that's just not true. Sorry, it's just not. And it totally contradicts you saying that when you've went places in your town, okay, and you have someone that with you that's considered as different, how everyone looks at you and stares and gives you looks and whispers in the ear, whatever you said, those things exist. Okay. You can't say that and then very well say, oh, it's different for biracial children. No, it's not. I know that because I have biracial children. Hey, is it Haley? Hey, Haley Edwards. No, it's okay. She can say what she wants to about that. But you're ignorant. She's ignorant. And it's very sad. You're a sad person. I'm not going back and forth with that woman. Like I said to all creators, please don't go back and forth with that woman. She is so not worth it. But in the same sense, I'm about to end this anyway, but in the same sense, just if you're going to speak about these types of things, you need to know what you're talking about. It's not hard. Like, it's very blatant. It's very all over the place. All you have to do is watch. Just pay attention. And thank God I never did. That's for sure. Thank God. You wish. But in the same sense, those are her supporters that she's saying that to. And I don't care about her supporters. Those people don't matter to me. Oh, sorry. Was that blocked already? Okay. I don't care what her people say about me. I care about when you're talking about biracial children, you're not the only one who can talk about that. And it's very ignorant of you to sit there and say that there's a difference because there isn't a difference. Let's be clear on that. Okay, let me read some more comments. Teaya, I seriously love that you bring out the tough conversations. I've always respected that. Thank you, Without Borders. I appreciate you, beauty. Make sure you guys check out Without Borders channel. Her channel is amazing. Being scared every time they leave the driveway. Yeah, Alex, it's not so much. Well, it was after that had happened. And when he experienced it, it was his first time. So he was scared. You know what I mean? And he was with his stepdad too, and another friend. And I'll never forget when it happens because he was screaming. He was scared. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't there. The first time that he ever had to endure that, I wasn't there for him. And I think that's what bothers me the most is that I couldn't be there for him when he experienced that for the first time. So, and all I can do is prepare him for those types of things. And we prepare him 100%. But in the same sense, it's different when your son is calling you screaming like, I didn't even do anything. It's hard. It's just hard. Hey, Mandy C, how are you? Yes. Yep. Mandy C did. Yep. And it's not about like I said, it'd be different if she had not been saying this about me, but she has been saying this about me. So I know that she said this. And if you're going to talk about these kind of things, you should probably know what you're talking about. Your ignorance is showing, your racism is showing, your who you are as a person, your true colors are showing. And I have had, like I said, many of people who have messaged me, who have emailed me, and have told me, you need to do your research, Teaya. You being on her panel in support of her is everything that you're against. She has never apologized for saying the N-word. She has never apologized for those things. And because of that, like I said, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. This woman, though, is showing her true colors when I say this. She is showing very blatantly what she thinks truly about racism. Yeah. I told her, or no, Mandy had told me, she made me aware of what was happening. And I thank you, Mandy, for doing that, because Mandy knows I talk about these kinds of things. She already knows. So I don't know if anybody's saying that. Hey, Teaya chat mods, I finally caught up. Teaya, I have a couple stories for you sometime when we both have time. Maybe we could chat beforehand to make sure you want it on your panel. Yes. All of my social media handles are in my about section if you want to get a hold of me, because I don't know how to say your name. How do you do that? How do you make your name like that? But anyway, you can get a hold of me anytime, sweetie. I would love to hear some of your stories. And I will share my son's story. Like I said, he filmed it. So I also know racism is still an issue. Yes. Like I said, Mandy's very aware that I talk about these things. I talk about racial microaggressions. I talk about racism. I talk about all of these things. And it's uncomfortable, yes, but I don't care. That's what God put me here for. And for her to say something like that and to talk about and try to almost eliminate what biracial children go through versus what Black people go through, that just shows you guys her ignorance. I'm trying to tell you, there is no difference. There's no difference. When you go out into the real world, you prepare your biracial children, your Black children, your minority children, whatever the case is, you prepare them for what they're going to have to endure. Because unfortunately, like I said, racism is not gone. Okay? Racism has not, to me, technically really gotten better. It's just getting filmed. More people are starting to see things for what they truly are. Okay? And because of that, you can't turn your back on it. I can't just not talk about something like that. You're not the only one who has a biracial family member. I have biracial kids. I know what they've had to endure. Okay? So you can't separate the two, unfortunately. Maybe, hopefully, in the future, it does get better, but that's not how it works. And even if I was to take it all the way back to, that's a different story for another day, you guys. We're not going to talk about that. But no, I appreciate Mandy C for making me aware of what she said. I needed to hear that. I needed to see that for myself, because if I hadn't seen it for myself, and I wanted to see that and hear it before I spoke about it. I love that you are having these conversations. Thank you, Megan. They're not easy to have, but I'm just trying to tell you, even my white friends who have biracial children, they prepare them, for things that they may have to endure, especially their little boys. If what NC is true, then why do I still experience it? I just don't discuss it because people will think I'm playing the race card. Exactly. And see, that's one of the things that causes that's called deflection. That's not called people. That is what people use to get you to shut up. And there's so many people that shut up about these kinds of things because of it. I'm not going to shut up, you guys. That's just not me. I speak about these things. I talk about these things. I talk about what I've endured. I talk about what I still endure. And that's never going to change. Even my mother and my stepdad, and like I told you guys, my stepdad is Caucasian. He raised me. And the things that they even had to experience, and it's not like it was 30 years ago, you know what I'm saying? But in that same sense, them as a couple, the things that they had to experience, his parents stopped talking to him because of my mother. They just, I just grew up around it. And unfortunately, it's not gone. It's still very much here. It's just that more people are being quiet about it. More people aren't speaking up about it because, of course, you're going to be known. And that's why people don't like me. Do I give a fuck? No. You're going to be you're going to be told that you're playing the race card. You're going to be told that you're a racist. A classic thing that a racist would say. You're going to be told that you're trying to turn people against each other, all that kind of stuff. And that's not even what it is. There's a difference between spewing hate and just trying to educate people. There's a huge difference. And just because that is my opinion of Natasha doesn't mean, it's not like I'm saying to you guys every single day, she's this, she's that, go over there and attack her. Like, no, that's not how it works. I try to use different situations to educate people. That's all. But when you do things like that, because just like what Mandy just said, she doesn't want people to think that she's playing the race card. That's why people don't speak. And I wish more people would speak up about it and not care about that. You're not playing the race card. You talking about your experiences in life, that's not playing the race card. That is you educating people on how these things still exist. I can never compare to what your son and yourself have gone through, but once had someone be racist to me, which shocked me a bit. Couldn't imagine what people go through every day. Yes, there's racism from all sides. It's not just Black people who have to endure racism. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, people of all different nationalities. And they see, you know how I feel. I'll get on my soapbox again. You guys are amazing. Exactly, Mandy. It is. It's called being a closet racist because people know it's not condoned in society. Exactly. And don't get me wrong, there's people that very much talk about this. One of my favorites commentators on things like this, her name is Paris Mulan. And she talks about more of the things that, minority women have to endure. But she's amazing, and she has come such a long way about talking about these things and these issues. And I just like to educate people on what still exists. And there's some people who think that you shouldn't talk about it. I disagree. What can I compare it to? When you have, let's say you have a tumor, you can't ignore that tumor, can you? You can't ignore it. If you get diagnosed with a tumor, you have to go to the doctors. It has to obviously be acknowledged. It has to be, biopsied. It has to be, what do you call that? What's that thing that they give you? I don't know. X-rayed, whatever. You have to watch it. You have to make sure that it's not cancerous, and then you have to get rid of it, right? You have to acknowledge things in order for it to go away. You can't just slide it under the rug. That's the only way that I could use to compare. It wasn't the first time they've done this. I agree. There are very racist areas here on Long Island. Not too long ago, there was KKK flyers going around to recruit people. It was on the news. They confirmed it was the KKK members. Wow. That is just horrible. That's what happened not too long ago here. There was a KKK rally and they were allowed to speak because, freedom of speech. And to be honest with you guys, there was a people of all races out there listening to them and what they had to say. The school shooting, no one talked about it after a few days on here, but Gabby's case is still talked about. I'm not saying it's because the race, but a person notices things. Amen. Amen. Sadly, some people are racist because of the way they grew up. We learn from our family. I agree. I have friends who were because of their family, and then they got out into the real world and their opinion changed. And some of those people I'm still very close with till today. So that's why I believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt, because people are capable of change, but some people aren't. It wasn't the first time they've done this. That's horrible. Yeah, they had like a KKK rally a long time ago. Well, it wasn't a long time ago. It was like a few years ago. And it was outside of a, like a, kind of like a courthouse. I think it was a courthouse. And they were allowed because you're allowed to practice freedom of speech. And people were there of all races because they wanted to hear. It didn't turn violent or anything like that. People just wanted to hear what they had to say. Why? I have no idea. But people of all races, meaning biases we are on. It's true. I've seen it, Charlie Ann. I was an army wife. It's eye-opening. If they don't believe me, look it up. Oh, I believe you. My family was in the military. Sometimes we were the minority. Seriously, but I don't know. It's wrong with the word and definition. It was crazy. It was a very, very epic time. I don't know why they chose where we live, but I don't know. I think they were from here, but they had their outfits on or whatever, and they spoke about what they feel, and people went and listened to them. NC covered the mass shooting, which was racially motivated. Did she? I didn't know she did. I know she covered. I didn't know she did with the one in Buffalo. I had to throw my mother out of my life due to her toxic behavior, but she wasn't racist. She was against my partner for being bisexual. I've chosen to end the cycle and walk away from her. Yeah, well, that's your choice, Peach. That's, no one should ever be that way towards. Sorry, I got to close my door, you guys. No one should ever be that way towards, even your sexual orientation, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, sweetie. I'm sorry. But you have to throw toxic people out of your life, regardless of who it is. And I think that's sometimes what people don't understand. You throw people out of your life if they're toxic. And if it has to be your parents, unfortunately, I do hope that you and your mom work it out, Peach, because that's your mom. And I know what it's like to not have a mom. So I do encourage you, hopefully when you have some time away from her to work it out with her. But I understand where you're coming from, sweetie. And you guys are amazing. I would do it now, but I have to start getting dinner ready. But if anybody wants or has anything to say, you can let me know and I will open the panel. If not, I'm going to end this. I just wanted to talk to you guys about this because her ignorance and true colors is showing. And I wanted to make that very, very clear. I know that there are some people that don't like the things that I bring attention to. And you don't have to. You don't have to. Like I said, that's not what I'm here for. And I like to talk about everything. You guys already know that commentary. It gives you that ability to talk about everything. But when it comes to different situations like this, I just like to educate. And I feel like when you're ignorant like that, there's no coming back for you. Like, I'm sorry, there's no coming back from being so ignorant. And it's not as if she's just ignorant when it comes to race. She's ignorant with everything. But you're not going to sit here and talk about what I've been through and how times are different and trying to separate the two, trying to separate a Black woman from a biracial woman. Now, literally, yes, a biracial child or woman, whatever, is half white and half Black. But in society, we are all seen as the same as far as when it comes to Black women, biracial women. There is no difference. Okay. I know that in society, my boys are going to be looked at as a Black man. I know that in society, if I had a little girl, which I wouldn't mind having a little girl, but I don't know. Yes, I will check that. I would like to have a little girl, but I don't know. Whatever. But if I was to have a little girl, she would be biracial. She would have some Caucasian in her, and obviously that's society is not going to look at her in that way. I am half Indian, and my mom raised me to know what society is going to look at me as. Anyone who has who is half Black or not full, African American, which no one is full anything, to be honest with you. But when you are in society, there is no difference. And that shows your ignorance. And to sit there and say that times have changed, if you don't endure it, you don't have any right to speak on it. Okay? You don't. You don't have any right to speak on what biracial children are enduring, what Black people are enduring. You don't have any right to speak on how the times have changed. I'm sure you probably wish that the times didn't change. But the point is that how do you know? You can't very well in one breath say, everywhere I go, it's very blatant. And, when you have a family member with you that is biracial or whatever, everywhere that you go, people look, they stare. What do you think that is? Why are they staring at you? There's a reason why you brought that up, obviously. There's a reason why you spoke that. I don't care what people think of me, but what I'm saying is you don't have a right to speak on what racism is between biracial children, biracial people, and Black people. That's not the way it works, because in society, there is no difference. And that's the point. And it shows your blatant ignorance. You're ignorant. You're just ignorant. And sometimes that blatant ignorance makes me want to speak on the shit. Okay. And that's it. Hold on. Let me check real quick, and I'm gonna see something, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because I will be live later on. Let me see here. Thumb thugs. Where would I see that at? How do you see if somebody's blocked? Okay, never mind. I found it. Okay. I don't see. Huh. Wait a minute. Ask her if she's sure that she's blocked. Because I don't see her on here unless she had a different name. And I don't have a lot of people on my block list either. I really don't. Yeah, have her check and see if her name is different. Because I don't see her blocked, sweetie. Hi Tia. I brought my kids up to respect others. And now they're older. They do. And that's wonderful. That's exactly what I do. Hey, Siren. You took a 23andMe DNA test. I need to take one of them things too. The results included variants in my DNA that trace back to the early humans. How much was that? I want to do that. Not to be ignorant, I've heard you say before that you are Indian in you. I've never heard you say, if I'm not too nosy, would you share? Not too. Oh, I have I've spoken about it. Yes, my father is Indian, and my mom is half Indian. I mean, I really never knew my father, but I only know my stepdad. But yes, my father was Indian. And that's not ignorant. That's just a question. If I wish I could say your name. Is it Charlie Ann? Okay, now I see it. I need glasses, y'all. But when it's in the comment section, I could just barely see it. But yes, my dad's Indian. Most are under 30, I think. Yeah, I need to do that. But I'm just happy that you guys came here. It means so much to me. I will always continue to educate about this, like I said. And I think that was a good example that I gave, like about a tumor, even though, not wishing that on anyone. I'm just saying, if you have a tumor, you have to acknowledge it. You have to get it checked. You have to get x-rays done. You have to get, what is that thing? It's not an x-ray. Is it a mammogram or MRI? That's it. You have to get an MRI done. You have to get these things done to see if it's cancer. So you have to get it biopsied. You can't just ignore it and expect it to go away on its own, right? And that's the same thing that I feel like with racism or, people being prejudiced when it comes to anything that is uncomfortable things to talk about, but we talk about them. Yeah, something's not right because I'm not seeing Thumb Thug. And I just looked in there. That's why I said, did you change your name, Thumb Thug? Was your name different when you came in here? I will make sure that I look you up and try to make sure that I can find you because, yeah, I'm not seeing Thumb Thug. And unfortunately, there were some people blocked when I was cool with that person. But anyway, like I said, when, there's some people you feel it's It's very uncomfortable to talk about, but I feel like that's why God put me here, to talk about these things, to not be afraid. And the one thing that I could tell you guys 100% is sweeping it under the rug and pretending like it doesn't exist. Just like if you have a tumor, you can't pretend like it doesn't exist and that it's just going to go away on its own. You have to acknowledge it. It's the same thing when it comes to these blatant, ignorant things in this world. They have to be acknowledged. They have to be faced. They have to be talked about, no matter how uncomfortable it is. It's unfortunate. It's very easy for people who don't have to deal with racism to say, you know, you're playing the race card, you're doing that. No, that's just a way to get you to shut up. You can say whatever you want to about me. You can call me, like I said, her saying these things is not doing anything but showing what a racist she truly is. But in the same sense, you can say anything that you want about me. The point is, you're not going to stop me from talking about these things. It's not my job to make people feel comfortable, okay? I want you to be happy when you're here. I want us to be able to have uncomfortable conversations and be able to address them and just listen and talk about it. Talk about your experiences. If you haven't had any experiences, be empathetic to people who have. Don't just deflect and pretend like because you're uncomfortable with it, you want to disregard a person and disregard their feelings because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Sorry, that's not how it works. Not over here. But I truly, truly appreciate all of you guys for being open-minded and listening to me talk about these types of things. It means a lot to me. I think you guys are absolutely amazing. Stay beautiful. Stay humble. Be beautiful on the inside, obviously, as well as the outside. And you guys, thank you for being so supportive. I appreciate all of you. Hope you guys have an amazing day. And if there's things that happen to you in your life, when you're ready, talk about them. It doesn't matter if it makes other people feel uncomfortable. If you've experienced things in your life, you may help somebody. You may be able to help somebody that has these types of experiences but are afraid to talk about them. Okay? What an important conversation. Thanks, Tia. Thank you, Alex. I love you, girl. Maybe they are staring at You're funny, the scoop with Barb. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you to my amazing mods. Thank you to everyone for being here, having, these conversations. And I love you guys so much. I will see you guys later on tonight. I think I'm just going to have an open panel if anybody wants to talk about this stuff. And I will be live at 10 or 11:30, maybe 11:30 Eastern. I love y'all. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'm going to go cook and then I will be getting back on here. And I hope you guys like this intro. This intro is by that girl. I'm going to put her link in the description. And if you are looking for an intro, that girl is the place. Oh my God, I love that picture, Megan. That is beautiful. I love it. I love all you guys. You guys are so beautiful. Okay, gotta go. Love y'all.
It sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.